So this whole game that we're playing, we have to really remember that it is a game, and games are meant to be fun. But it's the last thing that the seeker really focuses on, because the seeker really believes that that's what they are. I'm I'm pretty sure that I'm a seeker. You know, maybe I can become like that. You know, referring to Nisargadatta as I am that. But I'm pretty sure right now I'm a seeker. So that's it. There you go. That's already you could call it a problem. It's not really a problem, but from the perspective of that imagined seeker, yeah, that's the problem. But of course, the seeker is better at inventing secondary issues called "I'm not awake yet," or "this next teacher will probably be better for me." So it's really easy to keep the focus of attention always on me. So we keep the spotlight not looking at me directly, but we keep the light all about me. It's around me. It's circling around me. We're not zooming in and seeing what the me is. We're looking out from the assumption of the me being the idea of a separate entity, or the idea of a separate person, sort of that veil that seems to block out reality from itself or something like that. So it's a lot easier in a way to just go with that assumption, right? I'm me. I'm a me person, and therefore I need awakening, or I need to get rid of something, or whatever. And then someone comes along and says, well, just look into that assumption, look directly into what that is. What's really going on here? What's really happening? Is that really the case? Then it's like, uh oh. Then we crawl back into our assumptions and say, well, no. We kind of invent questions to sort of delay that looking, or we distract ourselves somehow with maybe something, a spiritualized technique that might work for me. So that's why this sort of pointing will never be as popular. Not that it needs to be. It's not, because it's never about that, right? It's never been about trying to win people over and gain followers and have support for the message, because it stands alone as its own self shining recognition. It doesn't need me or you or anyone to affirm it in a sort of secondary way, because there isn't a second, right? One without a second. It's not a matter of needing to have someone else. So it's not like this hierarchy of command about pointing to this non-dual awareness. No, there is only the non-dual awareness. What's all this other stuff, right? What's all this other stuff that seems separate? So that's what we can investigate. What is the separation? And of course, we can start from the fact that we are this presence, and then look into things that may seem troublesome, like the me notion or suffering. You can look into suffering. What is suffering, really? You zoom right into it, though. Don't think about it. Thinking about it won't really work, because that's just presupposing it already. No, you have to look back into the assumptions, not out from the assumptions into this sort of proliferating mind world. So it's okay. Well, what's suffering? If I think I'm suffering, I can look into it. What is it exactly? So usually, what seems to be the case is that there's energy, uncomfortable energy maybe, but that's another label, right? I feel uncomfortable. And there's thoughts of I don't like it, I don't want it, I need to get out of this. And but see, you can look into that directly, and images may arise of myself as a body. So me, I need to get out of this. So I picture myself as a body trying to get out of this, which is essentially maybe a feeling. But if I look right into that, if I get right down and feel that and look nakedly into this mechanism, well, what the heck is it? Do I find the sufferer, the one that's suffering? Or is there just whatever is rawly experienced, the raw experiencing of it? without that central thing. And then it's seen, it's not really and then, right now it's seen that there is only this one being of awareness. And so that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong there. So it all depends on where we've started from. So seekers, by you could call it the force of habit, have taken themselves to be some kind of limited defective self. And then they've heard about something else called awakening. And so they're off to the races, right? Where do I go to awaken? Who's the best person to talk to about my awakening? What's going on about, where's my awakening at today? How awake am I? How awake are they? Who's the best teacher? And all based on a phantom. So this has always been about just whoosh, pulling the rug out from under this assumption and seeing that what you are is the context in which all of that stuff happens. Who's the one that enables even the me concept or the search? Where's the self that enables all of this craziness to go unnoticed or to go, to perpetually continue? There is only the self, capital S. So it becomes increasingly almost redundant to keep pointing to this, but of course it's not. If there is someone who believes that they're a seeker, then the response will always be, well, there's no such thing as a seeker. It's like Santa Claus. Charlie Hayes pointed that out, it's like believing, it's knowing that there's Santa Claus. Maybe when I was 4 years old, I knew that there was something called Santa Claus. And then it was like, well, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. That's sort of that doubting, right? I doubt maybe it's not real. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's not real. Oh. But see, that has to be looked into, right? The assumption is looked into. So we're throwing this doubt out, right? Maybe there's no me. Or maybe what you are is awareness. Either way, it's the same thing. And then immediately that's doubted, right? Or that's rejected. But then it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe there's no real evidence for this me. There's no real reason that I'm not this awareness. So, and that's entertain. Paul Hederman talks about just entertaining that this is already the case. And you can see that even if you're entertaining that this is already the case, that the awareness is there as that in which the entertaining plays out in, the entertainer, the selfing, the selfer, all of these pseudo identities. It's a crisis. It's a perpetual crisis because I don't know who I am. So I want to have something to compensate. I need to do something more so I can compensate for not being what I am. It's crazy. It's nuts. Not in a morally sort of way of condemning people, but it's insane to believe that I'm something I'm not, isn't it? And to try to do things and expect different results. That's the classic definition, right? So a seeker is always butting their head against the wall, thinking that more and more doings will sort of knock something away or something, but all you get is a headache. It's easier to just see that you are the awareness anyway. You can't avoid it. So why bother pretending to be a seeker, you know? It's an awful state to be a seeker. But at the same time it can be very hopeful and very exciting. But there's an underlying sense of awfulness. It's just, ugh, I can't be a seeker. I just can't do it. And it's true, no one can do it. It just can't. It can't go on. That's the sense of being a seeker. I just can't go on. But I'm going on. So it's just awful. So if you're interested in ending seeking, just look and see that there is no seeker, and just see what you really are. Is that awareness? It's simple. There's no need for that complicated storyline of teachings and elaborate pointers. It's just looking and seeing for yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Anyway, thanks a lot and take care.